This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman and Riley Smith. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Averie Haskell. Today is August 5th, 2022. We're so glad you could join us. In today's show, I talk with Corteva's Kelly White about the registration of Resicore XL. We'll bring you the ag weather outlook, but first, let's take a look at that ag market recap.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
We're at the end of another trading day here with Jacob Burks from agmarket.net. How'd those markets turn out today?
We had a kind of a mixed bag in the grain markets, Averie. We were up about 8 or 9 in the front month in September. Corn settled there at 610, which actually is right in line. We're even par now with the December new crop corn. So 610 settlement in the December, that's up about 3.5–4 cents. We were up about 3.5–4 cents across the complex in the corn. Really a pretty quiet trading range. We had a lot of activity overnight. Got into the daily trading range. We had one move up and stayed there about most of the day. Soybeans, same type of story. Had a 30-cent trading range, 34-cent trading range in the September beans. Ended up being 2 cents higher. Old crop soybeans and new crop soybeans about 9 lower. So that's kind of been the story in the bean market. Just the demand and lack of supply of the soybeans kind of going hand in mouth across the interior part of the United States, and seeing really big basis plays, just trying to get their hands on the last little bit of corn, stretching that out into the harvest. Wheat market was down about 6 or 7 cents as well here today on a pretty quiet trading day.
All right. And how has the weather impacted those markets?
Well, I think at this time of year, you're mostly talking about weather with everything. Every day you get through that 10:30 report when we see these weather models come out, and there's some fireworks usually, which one way or the other. Today your continued dryness in some of the heat, the hotter parts of the country. We've got some severe heat coming through. A lot of the western part of the Corn Belt, especially. And those are, the focus right now is some of these later planted corn and some of the later planted beans are really getting stressed out. If you look on Twitter and if you talk to some of these guys in those areas, I mean, you're going to see some ugly beans. You're going to see some ugly corn that have just, really stressed during that pollination period. And that's the focus. I've seen from, predominant groups, private groups that have put out yield estimates, anywhere from the 173 and I've heard some that are, below. To finally seeing some guys that are putting some 178s out there. So you got a 5 to 7 cent range of what these estimates are going to be on your corn yield, and it's kind of the same story in the beans as well. So there's all kinds of guesses all over the place. The USDA has a very hard job next Friday coming out and telling us what they're expecting with corn and beans.
Other than the weather, what other impacts are affecting those markets?
Well, I thought a little bit today of the jobless number was a big surprise, and it was a big surprise to the marketplace. The dollar index was up, and realistically, that's about the only commodity that found a big move in that. So economics, your macroeconomic play, the inflation that we've seen over the last couple of years in interest rates raising. That's what we were kind of focused on, and we blamed a lot of that pullback on in the last 2 months. So I think that's still at play. I mean, you still have some major political issues with whether it's your Black Sea region, whether it's the China and Taiwan situation, whether it's just simple even the Argentinian currency situation down there, what their government's allowing them and encouraging them to export. So there's all kinds of macroeconomic things. But right now, I think you nailed it with this. It's weather that's most important.
All right. What happened on the livestock side of things today in those markets?
Well, it's a pretty quiet day. I mean, at one point we saw the feeder cattle up $2. It did make a pretty good pullback. I mean, that feeder cattle market, went up and tested some of the old highs from the middle of July, which is about even with that April-March timeframe. Watching that corn pull back, I think a little bit today was the bigger, push on the cattle. We've got a serious situation in the cattle where we're killing off a lot of the breeding stock. We're seeing a lot of cows, a lot of heifers come. So, we're looking at a position where we're taking a lot of this cattle inventory out now. Makes the future look bright for cattle prices. But short term, we see a strong market. Today's action, though, was just, I would call it on a pretty quiet scale, whether it's hogs, whether it's feeder cattle or live cattle.
All right. And if folks want to get in touch with people at agmarket.net, how do they do so?
You bet. Just go to our website, agmarket.net. We encourage everybody to sign up for our 30-day free trial of our agmarket.net intel. And, personally, if you can get hold to me, you can look me up there on the website. You can look us up and just give me a shout here at 608-384-5438.
All right, Jacob. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Maybe you won't have to talk to me as much next week, but hey, y'all have a good one.
That again was Jacob Burks from agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing numbers courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart.
At the close, September corn up 8 even at 6.10 1/4. December corn up 3 3/4 at 6.10 even. August soybeans down 1/4 at 6.14 3/4. November soybeans down 9 even at 14.08 3/4. September soybean meal down 16 even at 437.50. September soybean oil up 255 at 65 even. Chicago wheat down 6 3/4 at 775 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 7 3/4 at 886 1/2. Kansas City hard red wheat down 12 even at 848 1/4. And September oats up 6 1/2 at 422 1/2. On the Merc, August live cattle up 17 at 137.87. August feeder cattle up 45 at 179.52. August lean hogs up 17 at 120.82. Pork cutout up 42 at 108.92. And Class 3 milk up 4 at 19.98.
And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap. We are going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Kelly White from Corteva. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AM/PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Averie Haskell. Corteva launched Resicore XL last summer, and now they have gotten EPA registration for the product. Here's my conversation with Corteva's Kelly White. We are talking with Kelly White from Corteva. Hi, Kelly White. How are we doing today?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, Averie.
Perfect. Now, I know that Resicore XL is a new thing for Corteva. So tell me a little bit about that. What is Resicore XL? What does it do for farmers?
Yeah, thanks. So Resicore XL, we just got federal registration for last Monday. So we're really excited. This is going to be our brand new corn herbicide. It's going to be pre and post, and it's going to build on our current Resicore brand and just give us a lot of different features and benefits that will help enable farmers to have additional tools to fight weed resistance.
Awesome. Now, I know you mentioned that the registration was just approved. So what specifically does that mean? When can farmers use that on their fields? What is Corteva's next move?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just got federal registration. So our regulatory team is working diligently to get state labels now. So that will vary based on the state, but we will have it in time to stock and be ready for the 2023 application season.
Awesome. Now, what specific things does that offer for farmers? I know it's a herbicide, so it helps with weed prevention and even killing some weeds that are already on your farm. So what specifically does that do for the farmers?
Yeah, so absolutely. So weed management is so important. And when you're thinking about a herbicide that you want to use, you want it to be effective in multiple different ways. So Resicore XL has 3 modes of action, 3 different active ingredients. Some for residual, keeping weeds from emerging in general, and some that will have activity on weeds that are already emerged. So it's a product that you can use both pre and post, depending on your operation and depending on your weed spectrum that you're managing.
Awesome. Now, on the topic of herbicides and weeds, how has that looked for farmers this season? I mean, has herbicide sales been up? Have new weeds been available, or not available, but in the fields? And especially with the wet season, has that impacted with the early wet season and now into the dry season? Are we seeing different weeds on a lot of different spectrums?
Yeah, definitely. So over the last few years, a lot has been seen and noticed in terms of weed resistance to different herbicides. So just from a landscape of weed management in general, we're beginning to see really difficult to control weeds such as water hemp, Palmer amaranth, giant ragweed, mare's tail, and all these different grasses in between. So in terms of years, it definitely depends on the season, but we consistently see those weeds being our problem target weeds that we're needing to manage from a wide spectrum. So it's important to us that we have not only products that help fit each situation, but also flexibility in programs that we can spray at a wider application window. So with Resicore XL, you can spray up to 24 inches, which in a wet year gives you a wider application window. All of these different things are components that we think about when we're launching new products to bring the best possible solution to the farm.
Awesome. Now, I know innovation is a huge topic for agriculture. So, what does Corteva do specifically with helping that innovation and getting new products and new things out there that'll help the farmers and possibly make it easier on you guys when you are helping develop these products?
Yeah, so Corteva has a very in-depth pipeline of research. We're looking into brand new molecules and things for 10 years from now. So luckily, I get to work with kind of the direct impact, things we can sell to farmers right now. But our research division is extensively looking at the next generation of problems and things that we'll have to address in the field. Whether it be from Enlist trait technology on the seed platform and in the chemistry space, or new herbicides from corn or new fungicides. Corteva's can innovate new solutions and new products to help the farmer be able to maximize their yield.
All right. Well, lots of great information today. And I wish you the best of luck with the Resicore XL, especially coming for farmers in 2023. And thank you so much for talking with us, Kelly.
Thank you so much.
That, once again, was Kelly White of Corteva. Now let's run down the ag weather outlook. Well, if you have been outside this past weekend and earlier this week, the weather has seemed pretty decent. But as we go into the weekend, it seems to be super hot. So my best advice for you is to stay inside, soak in that air conditioning, and maybe eat some ice cream. But first, let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see here from the National Weather Service, the heat is returning this weekend. Today we'll have mostly sunny skies with the warmer temperatures, temps ranging from upper 80s to mid 90s. Tonight, partly cloudy with mostly clear skies across the state. Lows overnight should range from the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and hot. There is a heat advisory in place for a large chunk of Iowa and a slight chance of storms in the northwest. Highs will be from the low 90s to about 100. Looking at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be partly sunny skies with scattered showers and a high of 93. Shenandoah, sunny and a high around 99. Des Moines, sunny and hot with a high of 100. Albia, sunny and hot as well and 97. Waterloo, sunny and 96. And Clinton is looking to be sunny as well with a high of 94.
For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that has been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. And that is it for this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can find all of our video content and previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget our free twice daily market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I am Averie Haskell. On behalf of Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.